What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special episode of Crossplay. It is me, Gino Viterra, your host. I am joined by Alan Busby, Ignacio Rojas, and our very special guest today to talk about all things Nintendo, Mr. Joe Medforce himself, Waluigi Man. Let's start with Waluigi. Let's introduce Waluigi first, and then we'll talk to Joe. What's up, Waluigi? How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show, everybody. I'm excited to talk about Nintendo, even though they didn't give me my own game and they still haven't put me in Smash.
There you go.
Are you excited to call Waluigi?
Get the heck out of here, Waluigi. Nobody wants you here. What's up, Joe? How you doing?
I am great. Guys, thank you so much for having me on this episode of Crossplay. I am, I think you guys already know, so damn excited to talk about anything and everything Nintendo. Yes, exactly. Ignacio knows.
We might have an idea.
Nintendo is my favorite video game company, and I think they won E3 with this direct. So I'm really excited to do a deep dive with you guys.
They saved E3 with Superman carrying the child.
Yeah.
Or with a certain Tekken character carrying all these Nintendo franchises. Yeah,
that's great. Alan, Ignacio, how are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling?
Doing great. I think we'll have a good conversation with Joe here.
We will.
I have a suspicion of it.
We're gonna have a good conversation.
Like Gino, or like Ignacio and Gino, I have this ability. I can see the future, and I can just tell you for certain that Joe's gonna have a lot to say about a lot of Nintendo things. I can feel it.
Perfect. Good job, Ignacio. Good job, Joe. Let's get freaking into it, my friends.
We put a lot of hard work into the shows that we make, and yes, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and we'd love it if you would check them all out. You can find out more information on our website at thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in the Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. If you want to support what we do here at The Whatnauts, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is the best place to do that. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can get all kinds of exclusive content at the $3 tier. You can also get a shout out and thank you on all of our shows at the $5 tier. You can support us on Twitch by subscribing to our channel at twitch.tv/thewhatnauts, and we would love to have you all join us for our live streams and talk with us in the chat. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a sweatshirt or a mug or something else, go to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today.
We're working off this link from IGN. If you guys want to pull it up, I'm gonna be pointing things out from this link directly.
I've never heard of this website. What's this website?
Who wrote this up? It's Imagine Games Network. If you've never heard of it before, Imagine Games Network. This summary of Nintendo Direct E3 was written up by Adam Bankhurst over at IGN.
Nice.
So when was? Do you guys know? Just off the top of the dome, when was the last proper Direct we had? Nintendo Direct.
That was you?
No, we had one. We had one earlier this year. We had one.
Yeah, because that's where one earlier this year, because I remember it because they showed off Project Triangle Strategy or whatever it was.
Project Triangle.
Yeah, the game title that is actually going to keep upon release.
Which we didn't get more information of this time, which is
we didn't. But I feel like it has been a while since we've had a Direct though. Like I mean, honestly, after every Direct, it feels like it's been a while since the last one.
No, but was it the last one or the one before that had been
a
long time since we had gotten one?
It was the last one before this one. That had been like
so
500
it was February was the last Nintendo Direct. I literally just went shamelessly because I was like, I know I can find this out on my own freaking YouTube channel because I have my reaction. That was where we of course got the previous two Smash DLC fighters. They opened the announcement with of Pyra and Mithra. That's sort of like double character action, and other relatively, for me at least, like big announcements like Fall Guys coming to Nintendo Switch. People, like this. There's this guy Greg Miller. Don't know if you heard of him. He was really excited about Mario Golf Super Rush being announced. And then for the super niche, we had No More Heroes 3 getting its release date, which I am exceedingly hyped for. That's coming in August. And but it was not. It was a pretty good Nintendo Direct, I think. Overall.
No, wait, I'm forgetting. Was that the same Nintendo Direct that they ended by revealing Splatoon 3, right?
Correct. Yes, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we
that was like the strong note to end on. That's why I was like, yes.
We had the well, and we'll get into this obviously later on, but we had the disappointment. And I was disappointed of Skyward Sword HD being finally confirmed, followed by a lot of people getting excited for. No, but as I say, we'll get into it because it's a complex thing. But then Splatoon 3 was their big one more thing, which I don't think anyone necessarily saw coming at that direct, and that's going to supposedly be coming out sometime in 2022, which is shaping up to be an absolutely massive year for games. So
a banger of a year.
So then, now moving forward to this direct that we had at E3 2021, what are your general thoughts on it, Joe? We'll start with you, I guess.
And for those who don't know me, Joe Medforce is about as big a Nintendo fan as you can find out in the internet. I have loved Nintendo. That right in the background there, I won't grab it. You can see is my original Game Boy Pocket, just like sitting there. I've got sacred symbols as well, but actually I can grab it. Hold on, sorry. There we go. Cheeky. This is my Game Boy Pocket that I got when I was a kid.
Yellow.
We got Pokemon Blue, and now I started out with Super Mario Land, over 2 decades ago, and for me, bringing it back to the present day. I lost my absolute mind watching this Nintendo Direct. It gave me everything I wanted and more from what I thought we could possibly have, and it did everything that I want. Not just a Nintendo presentation to do, but especially there's a special kind of hype and excitement that can happen surrounding an E3 presentation, and I think that in the run up to it, even in the build up before all the other E3 showcases had pretty much happened by that point, there was a certain something in the air about this Nintendo Direct. Nintendo Switch Pro rumors notwithstanding, people always get excited and hyped up, and I think this wasn't going to necessarily be for everyone. I've heard people on the complete other side of the spectrum who say, you know what, actually it wasn't for me. They didn't really announce anything I was too excited about, but I'm right at the top scale of where it was my favorite. And to be honest, it's Nintendo. It was always probably going to be my favorite E3 presentation, but they knocked it out of the park as far as I'm concerned.
There was no bias in that statement.
No, absolutely.
No, don't worry. Yeah, there's no politics. There's no bias.
Yeah.
There's no. We're gonna be fine.
Alan,
And if you're wondering why Kyle isn't here, is because it wasn't for him.
Yep.
Was
Kyle, not a real Nintendo fan. He couldn't handle. He was like, he's like, I'm not gonna try to be a fake Nintendo fan. I'm just gonna dip out.
No, but that's it. That's why it's good to talk about it, because I have no problem going in on contrarian takes with people, because I like to find out why people.
I have no problem with people that disagree with me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, no problem with people that have wrong opinions.
Ignacio,
does not
exactly.
like to be disagreed with.
You're so right. Yeah, exactly. You have every right to be very wrong.
I have no problem with people that didn't like it. You're wrong, but I have no problem with you.
Yeah. Man, all right.
Alan, I know you were expecting Bayonetta 3. So how did you feel about the general?
I'm almost, maybe I'm like, just comparing to Joe. I'm for our group, I'm like the big Sony fanboy. I love my PlayStation forever, man. PlayStation 5 ever. I'm not an Xbox guy, so I didn't even watch the Xbox conference. I just read like a roundup. But I actually watched the Nintendo Direct live, and I'm actually not a big Nintendo fan either. I almost never play my Switch. I think the last time I played my Switch was maybe like when Rise came out, and I haven't really ever touched it since. So I never really have any expectations going into any Nintendo Direct or anything they show off. But I loved it. Like Nintendo, even if their games are not for me, I thought Nintendo's Direct was the best. Like even if I didn't see Bayonetta 3, which still rest in peace Bayonetta 3, Kamiya won't. He's gonna make sure we forget. But I loved it. They showed off games that I didn't really expect, and I have no intention of buying. But I thought Nintendo crushed it. And that's not even with all the conferences leading up to it of the jokes of, oh, Nintendo saved E3. I don't think Nintendo saved E3. I just think Nintendo just brought what they wanted to bring, and they freaking brought it.
Mm.
So
Ignacio,
I loved it.
what did you think, Ignacio?
I'm kind of with Alan. Not that I do not like Nintendo. I love Nintendo. Alan, I'm sure that if they had trophies, you'd be obsessed with it.
Oh, yeah.
These
need rewards.
views are being said as if like I'm gonna jump across the Atlantic Ocean and I'm just gonna like come for anyone who's no. It's like you said, you can see the sacred symbols in the back there. Like we love everything.
like,
we love everything here.
sure if
I'm not even
Nintendo
trying to
had
cater to it,
trophies,
though. Like
you'd love
I
it.
just don't play Nintendo.
You'd love it if they had trophies. Admit it.
I would like it a little more. Yes, I
But-
would.
Well,
I
yeah.
would.
Right, go
So,
on, Ignacio.
where I was going is that I'm not particularly hyped for much of what we got here. I think the only games that I can think of are Metroid Dread, which I'm super looking forward to. I love Metroidvanias and I love Super Metroid. But other than that, I'm kind of looking forward to now. I'm looking forward more to Super Mario Golf. I've never played a Super Mario Golf game, but this at least made it look more exciting. And then looking here, Mario Plus Rabbids, we already saw it on the Ubisoft conference, but I'm still wanting to play it. And the Mario Party Superstars, that I think it is an exciting thing. The only the only Mario Party game that I've played really was the last one that came out. I have no attachment to the old games, but I feel that I really love what they're doing. They're giving people what they want. But I'm saying this because even though there weren't many things here for me, I'm still came out of it super excited because there are so many hyped announcements. Like Advance Wars 1+2, you got that, you got Super Monkey Ball coming back, you had Cruising coming back.
You've got good Super Monkey Ball coming back, not just Banana Blitz remastered.
Yeah,
We've
it's
got
not a Banana Blitz situation,
1 and
we
2 and Deluxe,
Man.
and I loved Super Monkey Ball on the GameCube back in the day. Monkey
I've never played
Target,
it.
Monkey Fight, these mini games, and of course
Joe.
the core gameplay. Oh, so good.
Joe, so to really quick, I need to ask. I only played Super Monkey Ball for the GameCube. It's the mini game in Monkey Ball where you go down the ramp and when you go off it, you like open the capsule
Monkey
to fly
Target.
to land.
Monkey
What is
Target, Monkey Target, I believe.
Is that going to be in this like
I-
collection?
it would appear to be. It looks like because they're remastering Monkey Ball 1, Monkey Ball 2, and Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, which I'll be honest, I'm not as familiar with, but Monkey Ball 1 had, like Monkey Fight, these more Mario Party style mini games, which were a bit more fleshed out into their own multiplayer suite of monkeys in balls themed. This is the thing. It's just you got some other strange off the wall announcements, and you get them at other E3 press conferences, but the fact that they're bringing back such a really a cult classic franchise. No one, they're the Monkey Ball fans or people like me who really enjoyed the games back in the day are always gonna be excited for something like that. But I think, and actually the other point is I think because some people might be down on this direct because that was not the only port or remake we got announced, but stuff like Ignacio mentioned, like with Advance Wars and with Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater, the game preservation is important, and I'm not gonna necessarily, unless Wind Waker HD never comes out on Switch, I don't think I'm gonna be picking up a Wii U anytime soon. And I've still got my Nintendo Wii, and you can still pick up GameCube games, but the Switch is a really great system to bring games and actually reintroduce them to people who are then gonna care about these older series and get the spark, because that's one thing we see on Switch constantly. It's not like anyone's really ever talking about like, oh yeah, this game didn't sell that well on Switch. Switch is printing money for itself, and games tend to sell really well on it. I think that's it's great that we're 20 years later going to get these games coming back in just a slightly prettier and a nice little banana shaped package.
Yeah.
Ignacio, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for Joe and I to take that away. I just wanted to ask that one question. That's all right though.
It's okay. It's okay. But no, the last one that I wanted to mention of course, Kakarot coming to Switch. I don't
The
think
biggest
I'll
reveal.
play it. I don't think I'll play it on the Switch, but I'm not saying I might. I might or I might not. I don't know, but still, Kakarot, like I said before, is my favorite game of all time, and I'm excited to see it coming to the Switch. I find it kind of interesting that they only are going to release it with the first 2 DLCs and not the most recent one, the DLC of Trunks. Weird omission, since it's I don't know when it's coming out.
I think you might see it you might see it further down the line if the game sells well enough. They might put in the effort to port that if it's not ready to go right now, because I can't remember what the release date they announced was for Kakarot, but
did they give it a release date?
I think it's
September 24th, 2021.
Yeah,
And
so
includes both New Power Awakens Part 1 and 2.
Cool.
Also,
cool.
if he has motion controls, I will play it. That's why I put Xenoverse back in the zip.
Would you say multi-controls?
motion,
Motion controls.
tilt
Oh.
controls. Let's get it.
yeah.
Yes, it's a
Man,
big
I don't
thing.
even want to play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on my PlayStation, Ignacio.
Oh man, this coming from Alan, the guy who has the greatest taste in games, like with The
That's
Witness.
That's tough,
and Final
Ignacio. That's
Fantasy
tough,
VII
Alan. So
Remake.
I will
Oh.
bounce off of you guys. I thought the direct was actually pretty good. So I'm not in the ecosystem as intensely, obviously, as you, Joe. And I think my life the course of my life changed drastically one Christmas when I was gifted a Nintendo GameCube, correct? And by my parents, and then my brothers were like, "Nah, trade that in. Get a PlayStation 2 instead."
Dude.
So they traded in my GameCube and gave me a PlayStation 2 instead.
This is like an M Night Shyamalan twist
that-
here. Like
That's a top 10.
Yeah,
That's a top 10
it is.
anime betrayal right there.
So I
It
think
is
that
better, but
if I stayed with a
the PS2
GameCube,
was better.
if I stayed with the GameCube, I think I'd be in sort of like this. My life would be entire. I probably wouldn't even be named Gino. You know what I mean? Like my life would probably be
Nintendo
so
fan.
different.
you'd be
so-
named GameCube.
GameCube.
So
There you go.
so yeah. So I
Nintendino. I'm sorry,
Nintendo.
Nintendino. That's it. Nintendino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendino __ VII.
Or Nintendo.
Nintendo.
I just think no, because like Nintendino or Nintendo, yeah, that would work best because then that's got the little like the reference to Super Mario RPG in there, you know.
Yeah.
Which you'll be set. You'll be set.
But I saw. So I didn't get to watch it because it was happening while I was at work. But from when I started catching up, there was fortunately I watched the last part, which was the Breath of the Wild 2 reveal.
That's right.
Or not reveal, but like the sort of
The
more,
tease.
more info on it.
The first proper glimpse of gameplay
Yeah.
from the game,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
We really got to,
Exactly.
and I think for something that was a minute and 38 seconds long or something like that. That's not a lot of time, but they showed off a lot of that game in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
And there's been a lot of discussion over Breath of the Wild too, in like the like following that. There's theories, there's all kinds of debate over what
Definitely,
Breath of the Wild 2. We don't even know its name because Nintendo won't even tell us.
But at least we got the year now. So actually, I need to take that off of my fantasy draft because I was for 2021. The fantasy draft. But the other thing we're like, it was weird because when I saw the Metroid Dread trailer, it started by saying Metroid 5, and I was like, wait, but I thought people were waiting for 4. What's going on here? And then there was a lot of hype around that one, I saw it. It looks awesome. It looks super good. So I'm definitely gonna try that out. I have my Switch right here on my desk next to me.
Gino, could you
Oh,
imagine?
yeah.
Could you imagine one day you're waiting for Final Fantasy 16 and say next, like 16 doesn't come out right next year, E3, Square Enix, they announce the release date for Final Fantasy 17. You're like, wait, what? You're like, where'd 16 go?
I feel like that's so Joe. Like, I guess let's just get
Yeah.
into everything in the I guess we could start with Metroid Dread.
I think that is the best place to.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Let's let's actually, because that's almost chronological order. We'll talk
Yeah.
about the Smash announcement first, because that was a great reveal
that
for a
was
Smash
their
character,
opener.
and it's in Alan's wheelhouse, I'd imagine. PlayStation fan Tekken being featured in Smash.
Yeah, I used to play the old arcade Tekken games. I haven't kept up with Tekken. I want to get back into Tekken 7, but I'm not the best at fighting games. Plus I bought Guilty Gears. Like I can't shuffle all of them. But I did like Kazuya. It messed okay. So if I the one reference I want to mention on it is, for one, Kazuya had like probably the funniest, like for me personally, like one of the funniest character introductions.
Yeah.
He didn't get I like how Kazuya didn't get an envelope or anything. He just straight up was just tossing people to their doom. Except Kirby, you can't kill Kirby.
Yes, Kirby doesn't get killed. Kirby
Kirby
survives.
cannot get
Kirby survives the World of Light annihilation, and then the latest character introduced. He just, I knew he was gonna float back up, and it was beautiful.
Yep.
I loved it.
The other thing too is like I saw it on Twitter and people were talking about it. I love how Nintendo is now allowing other characters to like almost get rid of them. Like we had Sephiroth stabbing Mario. Like we had Ridley like just straight up murking people in its reveal, and now we have Kazuya just tossing people.
It is surprising how many people die in these presentations.
Yeah.
Didn't
The Ridley
Was it-
amiibo.
was it Luigi who died when the Castlevania people got announced?
Yeah,
I
or at
think
least, or
so.
very close to, the Simon Belmont
Yeah.
reveal, which is right up there as one of my favorite Smash reveals. I that wasn't when I was streaming or anything. I remember that happening, and I was in America at the time, and I was just lying in bed, and my wife was next to me, and I was like holding my phone and just just watching that live, and you just hear the Castlevania music, and Simon Belmont like throws off the cloak. Da, da, da. It is, and I think that is, I'll be perfectly honest, I really enjoy playing Super Smash Bros. It's a great game. I love playing it with friends, but none of the DLC characters, I've bought none of them. None of them have really clicked with me, and it's the same for Kazuya, but the representation of all these great fighting franchises, these game franchises, and also the theatricality and fun that we can all have watching a reveal like that is, again, you don't actually see that really happen at any other conference. Like Nintendo just puts that kind of, the director famous for they got to a point where they really put these just great productions together, whether it's Miyamoto and Satoru Iwata and Reggie as puppets, as Muppets, back in the day, and the Smash reveals still hold that, I think, in a great regard. It's fantastic.
I love how I'm not a Tekken guy. I've never played it even, but I love how unique Kazuya is, because the same way the Ryo and Ken, they are trying to make it feel more like the fighting style of the Tekken games, but put it on Smash Brothers. I love that. I love how they are making it its own thing for Kazuya.
That's cool. And so this is the second to last character, right? in the Fighter's Pass?
There's one more.
One more.
Yeah, I thought we were getting two this time.
Come on, Sora.
I thought that, because I think I saw someone on Twitter say they're going to probably release one more fighter for E3, and then we might come full circle around again to Game Awards get the final fighter revealed there. So that will be interesting to see if we have to wait that long, because I think that will be, considering we actually got Pirate and Mithra just in February. That's actually, and we have had on quite a couple of occasions had these fighter reveals come close, a bit of a 1-2 punch with a couple of months in between, whereas Game Awards will be us waiting till December. But it would make sense, and it'd be a nice sort of return to that and hopefully, we'll get another hype. Well, either way, it'll be a hype reveal, no matter what the character is.
And
But,
Who do you think it'll be? Who do you think it'll be?
I know who I want it to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's who I want it to be.
It's not gonna happen. But I
God,
have to.
please, no.
I have to.
You gotta believe.
You have to believe, boys. You have
Oh,
to believe.
oh.
If Waluigi isn't the last DLC that we get for Smash, I'm gonna be so mad.
No, I've made my peace with it. He's not going to become a player unless, because it seems as though, like, to me at least, Kazuya was a left field pick. Even though it makes complete sense given that they've put
Ryu,
Terry from Final Fight, and they are really, as Ignacio said, doing such a great job of adapting those move sets and respecting the fact that there's a history for these fighting characters. It's great, and I think that, and also it means that it's a really a Nintendo. If you guys, I don't know, this is a really sort of weird deep pull. Do you remember back in the day when they released Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube, on Xbox, and on PS2? And of course, we had Link as the GameCube exclusive character. We had Spawn as the Xbox one, and we had Heihachi from Tekken as the PS2 one. And so I feel like it's people might think back to that as well, which is quite fun. It's a nice nod to that.
And the coolest thing about, like, just the last thing for Kazuya, the coolest thing is he also comes out very soon. Like, he'll be available at like the end of the month, like on the 28th. Like, he's real soon.
Yeah, they're gonna do. Yeah, they'll confirm that probably after the Fighter Presents that Sakurai will do. Go on, Ignacio.
June 20th
is the release date.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I love how they usually do come out very close to the announcement.
Yeah. So.
I'm
not gonna pick. I'm not gonna pick up Kazuya, but
it's gonna be Master Chief.
No. Why would they put Master Chief? Why?
Because you're not in there yet. The mission of Waluigi
Goku,
is one of the
put Goku
weirdest
in there,
things
okay?
that they
put
could.
Goku in there.
It's like Ubisoft with Splinter Cell. It's like what? Like at this point, you just don't want to do it.
Waluigi is the Sam Fisher of Nintendo.
Yeah, Waluigi is the Sam Fisher of Nintendo. They just don't want to add him to Super Smash Bros., which is so weird.
No, it's because he's an assist trophy, and that's sadly probably all he'll ever be.
Assist trophy and make him a character. That's it.
Yeah,
so mad.
You're gonna release a whole Waluigi.
Could you imagine in the parallel universe, instead of Mario being the mascot for Nintendo, what if it was Waluigi? Like, he was the mascot for Nintendo. Like, Nintendo wasn't red, it was purple. Nintendo was purple. Like in one of the alternate universes.
A fan can dream.
100%.
All right,
so
Gino.
After the Tekken reveal of Kazuya and Smash, they showed Metroid Dread. Or Metroid 5. I don't know what
first of all, they said
Metroid Dread.
First of all, they said, "Hey, we're still working on Metroid Prime 4,"
which is good to hear, because we haven't had an update since the confirmation that they've restarted development with the Retro Studios, and that was a couple years ago now. So but this was I was very pleased as well, because my friend Caesar Towers, we did a Nintendo E3 predictions, and I know you guys did some of your own E3 predictions as well. I had been hearing scuttlebutt on Twitter, rumors about a 2D Metroid, and so I was like, yep, put my money where my mouth is, let's get it. May not happen. I would love it, because I'm a, as you can see, I got the Ridley amiibo. I've got my little Metroid attached to the little test tube there amiibo, and I think that Samus Returns was a fantastic, return to form for 2D Metroid. It was a fantastic modernization with the parry mechanic, and also this was the point where everything went off the rails for me in terms of the Nintendo Direct reactions that I was doing, because Metroid 5, yes, I was so hype, but the fact that they are calling it Metroid Dread for the first Metroid game in nearly 20 years to follow, new 2D Metroid game to follow Metroid Fusion, and Metroid Dread had been rumored for so long, and every time I heard a tidbit about what this game could be, that it was maybe going to come out on Nintendo DS, and it just it is the truest sense of a fanboy dream come true, at least for me. And I was so happy. I still am.
That's the thing. I don't think it was rumored. I think it was confirmed or announced by Nintendo so many years ago. That's what makes it interesting. Metroid Dread was
'cause-
announced many years ago, and I had no idea of that. And yeah, apparently Metroid Dread was a thing, and they're finally
Well, it's
showing
because
it off.
it's because Nintendo a long time ago trademarked the name Dread, right? That's what it was. Yeah.
Did they not announce it?
It was never really officially announced. The creator of Metroid Dread, who I'm blanking on the name of at the moment. Insert a subtitle here or something. No.
We'll take care of it.
Yeah. So he had talked about it, I think, at various points, and then in Metroid Prime 3, which came out on Nintendo Wii, there was you scanned objects in that game to find out more information, to fill out your like galactic encyclopedia or whatever the hell it is, the Metroid version of a Pokedex, and there was a scan tidbit in there where it said Project Dread is nearing completion. And so at that point, that little Easter egg, people were like, "Oh right, it must be coming out on DS in a couple years or whatever." But it's taken this long to get here, and I don't think it disappointed, especially since it seems to be doing its own spin on. I don't know if you, Ignacio, did you play Metroid Fusion? Who played Metroid Fusion here?
No.
All right.
I've actually
I've only
never
played-
played. I'm a big fan of like Hollow Knight and the Castlevania games. So I feel kind of ashamed I never played a Metroid game, but I think I'm gonna play this.
This will be
Like,
a great
I think
jumping on
it's-
point for you.
I think it's time to finally jump in.
Yeah, this will
I've
be.
only played Super Metroid, and the one on 3DS is
Samus Returns. Yeah, Samus Returns.
I've only played Metroid and Smash.
Yeah, I've played Metroid in Smash. I've
Played as Metroid.
So then,
As
Gino, if
Metroid.
you're not really a fan of Metroid, like, was this like, how did you like? Is this gonna make you buy Dread? Are you gonna play
Gino.
Metroid Dread?
What do you
Me?
think?
Oh yeah, no, I thought it looked awesome. Just from gameplay alone, I thought I was like, this game looks freaking cool. And obviously, I know Metroid, I know Samus and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
see the way the vibe of the trailer seemed as if this was also kind of like a horror game in a way, like a 2D sort of horror game, which looks super cool.
Exactly, because in Metroid Fusion on Game Boy Advance, that came out the same year as Metroid Prime did on the GameCube, the hook of one of the hooks of that game was that Samus became, and in most games, of course, Samus becomes like depowered. She loses her suit's powers. She was infected by a virus called the X parasite. And therefore, that's what resulted in her fusion suit, which looked quite different. But the sort of the remains of her suit that had been infected by this parasite became a clone called the SAX, which was this like dark alien host. This was before Dark Samus, who of course you'll know from Super Smash Bros. And Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. And I think the SAX was cooler than that, because in Metroid, in a much more primitive way, because of course it was Game Boy Advance game. But you know how in Resident Evil 2 Remake, Mr. X like stalks you at certain points in the game. There are points like that in Metroid Fusion where you are depowered. You're like hanging about in like an air vent above this corridor, and you see the SAX, and the music drops out, and it's just these like ominous footsteps. And for a Game Boy Advance game that I played when I was a preteen or whatever back in the day, it freaked me out. And Gino's 100% right. That's the vibe that they're looking to input with being stalked by these ME robots that you see and they're highlighted quite a bit in the trailer. It's the idea is, I think, until you gain more powers, you can't really take them on, and they're being segmented in their own sort of like sections and level different parts of the map. So you will enter an area where they're patrolled by an ME robot, and you'll have to do your best to kind of just escape with your life, which is it's so cool. It's gonna be amazing.
It really added to the horror element for the fact that like it was also that music it used, that like disturbing like sound that it uses when it chases you. Like that added to make it seem like a really big threat.
Yeah, you almost had like a Predator style clicking in the soundscape. It's
cool,
yeah, the vibe is amazing.
Yeah, like they showed it in the trailer, is like similar to how you mentioned, Joe, the way Mr. X stalks you, but you can't hurt him.
Exactly.
Which is like in this one, like it doesn't chase you and you can't hurt it, so you have to run. Which is it's a really cool way to play a 2D game, I think, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've also played as Dark Metroid in Super Smash Bros. So,
Dark Metroid. I appreciate your as someone who commits to bits. I appreciate your commitment to the bit. It's great. It's fantastic.
So this one is releasing October 8th, 2020.
Yeah.
That's 8 days before my birthday, and it's the best birthday gift I could wish for. I'm so excited.
Are you also gonna get the amiibo? You're gonna get the amiibo as well?
I will say, because I've got my these. So these are this was the first Metroid 2-pack amiibo they released for Samus Returns. I don't have the Samus Smash amiibo actually, but I do have as you saw earlier, the Ridley Smash. The one of the only things that I'm slightly down on from the suit design is going to grow on me, I think. And as a collector, I do want to get the amiibo because I only collect a few amiibo here and there, and Metro is one of the franchises where I've got a few already. But I also already dropped like the $90 or whatever it is for the Metroid. I got the collector's edition with the art book, which is more because of the history of Metroid Dread as a franchise. Like, I'm going to be really interested. To be honest, I don't think it will give me what I really want, which is like a proper like development history. But actually, from the coverage we've had of the game so far in the Nintendo Treehouse section that followed afterwards, you've got the developers talking about the history of the franchise, which is more than you often get with Nintendo. They play their cards close to their chest. Games just come out and you don't ever necessarily get... but they know that there is a fan clamoring for not just a new 2D Metroid, not just new Metroid in general, but Metroid Dread has been hanging around in our minds for, as I said, almost like the idea of a new Metroid successor to almost 20 years, 15 years if you count it a different way. But yeah, it's great.
Shout out to Joe saying October, the best birthday month. It is the best birthday month.
I mean, I just said it was my birthday, which makes it the best for me personally.
I know, like, Dread comes out 6 days after my birthday, so that's why it's like I might as well just get it for that time as well. Like, let's go.
Yeah. So right in between for the both of you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And speaking of birthdays, I'm sure hopefully it'll be safe for us all to have a party, even if it is at the end of October, where we've got Mario Party Superstars coming out.
Yeah.
Perfect segue.
Beautiful.
It got planted. I'm sorry to like steal the host role for a moment there.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, if we're safe and we can be close together, we'll just ruin our friendship. But
we don't even need to.
And then we'll ruin it.
We don't need to though, because of course the online waters that were tested with Super Mario Party getting online functionality 2 years after it came out, which was ridiculous.
It worked.
But yeah, and 1 year later than it should have been. We should have had it like when Animal Crossing came out at the height of COVID. But and they really look like they're stepping up their game with this one, bringing like if you're playing with your friends, you can save the game mid-game online and come back to it later, which is something they don't have in the current Mario Party on Switch. And it's all these, and it's at least 5 old boards from the Nintendo 64 series and 100 mini games, which is just being able to do like bumper balls and all of those classics is gonna I loved Mario Party 2 on the N64. That was like my Mario Party that I played back in the day, and it's so much fun.
That one was mine too. I played Mario Party a lot with family on the N64. So seeing some of, like you said, those boards coming back for this one specifically, it's really nice how they're, from what you see a lot in this direct, they know they have a history, Nintendo specifically. So, and they really want to show you that they care about it, and it's important to a lot of people, and maybe not important to everybody, but it's very important to specific groups of people, and they care about that. So it's super nice to see that they're bringing that with online. So we're definitely gonna be playing that. Everyone's gonna be playing that online.
Hopefully the mini games don't cause you to burn your skin in your hand from doing all the joystick spinning.
They are gonna bring that one back.
I'm not ready.
Which one?
Any of the video games that you have to
yeah,
spin the analog
or
stick
any of
that
those.
pretty much is gonna burn into your
Oh.
hand.
They
Although we
they
don't
need
have
to
it.
Just-
they need to do a
drift will
special
work. The drift will work.
they need to do a oh my god, yeah, that's it, the Joy-Con drift. Oh my god, yeah. They need to bring
Man.
out a collector's edition, a commemorative Mario Party anniversary, which comes with the gloves that they sent out.
Yeah.
You know that they did that. They
Yeah.
sent out gloves to people who complained about having their hands damaged by the analog sticks on the N64
Yeah.
controllers.
Although
If you
To be fair-
if you
to be-
pre-order today, you get a pair of gloves.
to be fair, the analog sticks right now are much better and
Yo, yeah.
probably will hurt you less than the N64
Well,
analog stick.
Ignacio, it's only gonna hurt you if you want to win. If you just go for second place, you don't have to go that
Yeah.
hard.
Hey, I have that Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi practice. I can beat any of you.
From the PS2. The PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
PS2.
All
So
those
cool,
all that beam struggle practice.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
So Mario Party Superstars. Do we want to talk about anything about it? We just know it's gonna be super
I-
fun and super great.
Yeah.
And also in October, God, it's gonna be an amazing
yeah.
holiday season going into it.
yeah.
Wait, so that one's October 29th.
Mhm.
Metroid is when was it?
October 8th.
Hmm.
Both coming out the same month.
Was
Interesting.
was it so I was so I think it was the same day I hung out with Nesting Dolls on Twitch. I was hanging out in her chat and they were talking about the Mario game to play it online with the community. And mate, I didn't have this thought. Nintendo, she was saying that she didn't know if All Stars was an add-on for the latest Mario Party
Separate
or if
game.
it was its own
No.
brand new thing. I knew it was a brand new game, but I watched it again and I was like I could almost see maybe how if you weren't fully paying attention, you were like, oh, they're adding new boards and classic minigames. I can see how it would have come off as an expansion of the
Yeah,
prior one.
I think because and that's the other thing to mention, because we joked about the analog sticks, but of course the predominant control focus for Super Mario Party on Switch, and the naming conventions don't help, but for the current Mario Party you can buy on Switch, was you just use Joy-Con controllers.
Yeah.
It's
You only need one Joy-Con.
it's one Joy-Con
man.
per person. You cannot use Pro controllers or any other third-party controllers or anything like that, and most of the games are focused, of course, on motion controls or HD rumble, and with some using stick and button controls. Whereas, obviously, this bringing back all these classic N64 mini games, you're not only going to be able to use button controls, but if you just have a Switch Lite, you can play just on your Switch Lite. Which, for those who don't know, obviously the Switch Lite is the handheld-only version of the Switch. So Super Mario Party, unless you have a spare Joy-Con floating around or a couple spare Joy-Cons, you can't play Super Mario Party on the Switch Lite, which is surreal, but Nintendo's gonna Nintendo, so
They still make money. It works for them.
precisely. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
All right, Gino.
So up next here in this document, we've got the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch handheld announced with 4 games. That's coming out November 12th.
Yeah,
So
so
I've never played these Legend of Zelda games, the original ones.
No.
But
I've only played through the first one.
yeah.
It looked cool. They did the same for the Mario anniversary, but that one only had Super Mario Bros. I like what they're doing with this one because it is not only just the first Legend of Zelda. They also have Adventures of Link, which is the second game, and also they have
Link's Awakening.
what's it called? Link's Awakening,
Yeah.
which I think it is super cool for them to include it there.
Mhm.
So you're already getting more than what they did with Mario.
Yeah.
But
just
for
want-
me personally, I wouldn't get it. Maybe I'm gonna get it because even though I think it is a cool idea, it isn't that for me.
I just don't think this is the 35th anniversary people were looking for.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda.
There's still time. There's still half a year left.
I
Remember that at this point last year we didn't have
Yeah.
the Super Mario Bros. Collection. We didn't have even this.
And yeah, Nintendo, I think, has made it clear already that they are handling Zelda's anniversary differently. I say they've made it clear; it's just clear from their inaction
They're
and the
just
fact that they
doing it
are.
differently.
Yeah, they are just doing.
They're not telling us.
They're just doing strange things with it, and we'll get it. I think it's best to save the Breath of the Wild sequel stuff and the way that sort of can link in, pun intended, till the end, but. It again, like you said, Ignacio, it's cool. It is building upon the Super Mario Bros. Game and Watch that you got for, and that did include the lost levels as well, because that's it's just more Mario levels. But yeah, again, it's one of those things where I think if money was no object for me, I would 100% pick this up. I'd be like, yeah, sure, it's great to have, but I think it was maybe Janet Garcia or someone on Twitter I saw joking like the most uncomfortable way to play these games. Like it's just
it's so small.
Yeah, I somewhere floating around in like a storage box or something. I have like an original Game and Watch, and these reproductions are doing something like it's great. Again, Nintendo honoring their legacy in a way that only you would get from Nintendo. This is the equivalent of like, I don't know, PlayStation 1 games getting released on like a PSP Mini, or something like that. It's just it's strange, but
it's neat.
People are going to see it as like a high value like stocking stuffer, like this the Christmas present for the Zelda fan in your family. Like this will be a great thing for them to even just have in their collection, even if it doesn't get a lot of shout out and power to anyone who actually completes all three of these games on their Game and Watch
100%.
instead of just using it as an alarm clock.
Whoa.
Which is in the functionality. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
It should be time to get it together, because this next one's exciting.
WarioWare Get It Together.
Get it together.
Collection of all the games coming to Switch this September, which is also great that they announced pretty much a release date for every single game that they showed here that we had not previously seen.
New reveals and release dates.
Yes,
Exactly.
it's WarioWare again. Nintendo doing such weird things. There was a survey that happened a couple of months ago for, I think it was primarily consumers in the Americas, where they said, "Would you pay $50 for a new WarioWare game on Nintendo Switch?" and everyone was just like, "What is happening here?"
It's that meme of people slapping the button of yes.
I just tweeted out like, I will pay $100 for a WarioWare game on Switch, and this one is coming out at, actually, I think it's £40 in the UK. So it's coming closer to that slightly more budget price point. It's not a full price game, but for those who don't know, WarioWare is.
Are you gonna buy two to get close to $100?
To be honest, if the survival and like future WarioWare games depended on me buying 2 copies of this game, I would get a copy and then get another copy for a friend. Like, I love WarioWare. It originally came out WarioWare, Mega Micro Games came out on Game Boy Advance. I did not have it on GBA, but the GameCube version, which brought a lot of those games to the GameCube with a multiplayer focus. Me and my friends, back in the day in high school, like we had sleepovers where we stayed up all hours, like, playing these crazy micro games together. And it's the WarioWare cast of characters that you have in there as well. It's true Nintendo weirdness at its best. And again, this was another moment where I just completely. My brain melted watching this get announced. It's so it looks, and also we've needed this kind of a game on Switch really since the Switch launch. 1-2 Switch had some of that DNA in it, but it was a bit half baked. It was mostly a tech demo really for the Joy-Con and the mechanics and very cool stuff that you can have in there, and I think this will have some of that, but more just focus on the fast-paced chaos and the co-op element is kind of new for the series as well, so that should be so much fun.
And having all the different characters that actually all fundamentally play differently during mini games too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely because the main series twist, and there's literally a motion control Game Boy Advance cartridge where called WarioWare Twisted. So I'll stop with the terrible puns in a moment. But was that you usually start out with Wario's games, which of course are strange, and then you get into there's a character called 9 Volt who's a retro obsessed kid who has more Nintendo themed games. Ashley is this goth, and you have just these games themed around these characters. So having you actually getting to play as the characters is something we really haven't seen before in a WarioWare game. And as you say, different ways to complete these mini game objectives is just I think it's Nintendo often focuses on new ways to play, and that this seems to be another sort of vehicle for that kind of gameplay, which is great.
So going off of that, did your brain also melt for this next one, Advanced Wars 1+2? I saw a lot of people were excited for this one, and I had actually never heard of Advanced Wars before.
Me either.
Ignacio, what do you feel about Advanced Wars? What's your history with it?
I have heard about it. I've never played it. I'm not really into these tactics games. It is kind of a tactics game. But it looked pretty cool. I really like that thing of how the way they show the actions happening. I thought that was pretty cool. So
yeah,
I might pick it up.
Yeah, that's been there since the start of the series. This is the first 2 Game Boy Advance games being rebooted, remade, and I had Advance Wars on Game Boy Advance. I'm not good at strategy games, not in the slightest, but I remember being excited for it back in the day, having a lot of fun with it for sure. And we've seen games like Wargroove, which is a very much they made no bones about the fact that was that came out on other platforms as well as Switch. A big inspiration for games like that is Advance Wars. So if you've liked stuff like Wargroove or other turn-based or even real-time strategy games, this is definitely one to look out for. And again, another example in my mind of Nintendo thinking back to 20 plus years ago, these games which have a lot of people who have fond memories of them, and it's just going to make sure that the millions of people who own Switches may well give it a look and get into something which they didn't even know existed until this direct. And that's coming out. This is a really packed year. It's turned into just such a packed year for Nintendo, coming out December 3rd. That's quite a lot of choice for people, I think, over as the year comes to a close.
That's because most of the year we had no idea what they were gonna have.
Yeah.
For the rest of the year, and then now we're seeing everything that they're gonna have for the rest of the year, which is a lot. Which is why they announced the release dates for everything that they showed. Okay, so for these next 3, I'm gonna go through them. We can talk about 3 of them. It's just these 3 we've seen already prior.
Yeah.
That's totally fair.
Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope showed a new trailer at the direct. Life is Strange True Color and the Life is Strange Remastered Collection are joining the Switch library later this year. And the Guardians of the Galaxy that was announced at the Square Enix conference is getting a cloud version heading to Switch.
Which, and I just want to quickly say about that, I did not find out about it being a cloud version until after the direct.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was they did say it in very. I went back and but they didn't actually say it. It's just in very small text, like persistent internet connection required.
Disclaimer font.
Yeah. It's technically there, but I think because I was like, oh wow, this is great. Maybe they're just it's a game that can be ported. That's cool, but this. I mean, to be fair, it's coming to every system under the sun. So, like, if you've got another console, you'd probably just play it there. And it remains to be seen if, unless you've got the highest sort of fiber, like internet connection speeds or whatever, whether there's really, it baffles me that. And it may happen one day, but why we don't just have Game Pass on Switch already? Like it's because very I think because we could get that, but also good because what, if people don't have the other systems, it's great they get a chance to hopefully play a version of this game which plays mostly well if you've got the internet to hold it.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Let me see here. Hold on, I gotta. We also got more info on Mario Golf Super Rush, which is releasing by the time you hear this week. So, freaking
What?
awesome! Yeah, June 25th comes out.
So on Friday.
Freaking
Friday.
crazy,
I have no
dude.
idea.
So I think I'm part of some sort of. I think Ben, please be excited, is throwing some sort of tournament for this, and I forgot that I'm in that. So I have to buy the game. I have to buy it. But there we go. I hope I do good. This game looks freaking great. This game looks fun. So I'm excited. They said that there's gonna be more post launch that includes they're gonna receive free updates post launch, which includes new golfers and courses.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna play? Who are you gonna play, Gino? As your
Who am I
golfer?
gonna play? I'm gonna play as Waluigi.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I
There's
don't.
only the one
I,
right
I-
option.
I don't know if I'm gonna get this game. I'll be perfectly honest.
Oh.
Not because
Yeah.
not because it doesn't look great, but just golf. The Mario Golf series has never necessarily done it for me.
Yeah.
I was much more into Mario Tennis back in the day, and unfortunately, we had a bit of a swing and a miss with Mario Tennis Aces. The core mechanics for Mario Tennis Aces,
Yeah.
which was developed also by Camelot, who are making Mario Golf Super Rush, was great. This seems to be them almost making good on that, because Mario Tennis Aces did receive much more post-launch content in the form of new characters than anyone expected. There was online tournaments and challenges, which was cool. But there looks to be much more present for Mario Golf Super Rush at launch, like a proper story mode, more fun multiplayer modes. And looking at some of these multiplayer modes that they've shown off, the speed golf and stuff like that, it intrigues me. It might be one of those games that I pick up in 3 to 5 years when there's a sale on it. Because Nintendo never puts they never put their first party games on sale.
So I said Waluigi though, Alan. That's because he's available. I think someone that I would really love to play though is Baby Daisy. That's who I play in Mario Kart. And I wonder if they would add Baby Daisy as a playable character.
I think
Mario
adding any of the baby characters even playable to begin with, because I think that the length
would be weird.
the length of the limbs of the baby characters presents a fundamental issue. Like, you can stick them in a cart, no problem. The cart's morph to their size, it seems, but how the golf club is 5 times the size of Baby
Joe,
Daisy.
what you do is that if you're playing exclusively as like the adult version of the baby, right? You play as Gino plays as Daisy, right? Plays as Daisy. When he gets up to the fairway where he's then in putting range, it switches to Baby Daisy to putt.
And if you're taking the first shot of the game from, I don't know golf terminology, but like they just stick the baby up on like a really tall bar stool.
Yeah. So they can hit the ball. There you go. They gotta do it. Then they're just missing out on money.
You never know. You might have it. You might get it in one of those free updates. We'll see.
There we go. After that, we got a Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater announced for Nintendo Switch. So this is that horror picture taking sort of game. I think.
It's Pokemon Snap, but with ghosts.
Pokemon Snap. This game have a photo mode. That's what's most important.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a photo mode. I've always wanted to play a Fatal Frame game, and this came out on Wii U, which is a better system for it, even though I don't have it, so I can't really. But the idea of moving around the gamepad works well. So I hope at least in handheld mode they'll keep some of that motion control functionality, which you kind of have in new Pokemon Snap at the moment. It's good that these games which are. No one bought a Wii U basically, so people are going to get a chance to play them. And certainly looked good, and has got those sort of creepy, Japanese horror vibes, obviously, which a lot of people are probably into.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it is an interesting.
Have any of you guys played any Fatal Frame series? Can you comment on any?
I was told I have to play one, so this is probably going to be my jumping on point again.
Yeah, it definitely looked interesting. It had a nice little horror vibe to it. I like the way, because it's weird having a horror game on Switch. You don't think of it for that console for specific games like that. So the very specific horror vibes that they show make me feel like this is not This is not Resident Evil 8 Village where I can't play it alone because I'm too scared. It's like this is ominous, this is scary, but I can go through this, which is I don't know,
Gino,
it's different.
just play with the lights on. You'll be fine.
Resident
No,
Evil
no,
Village
it's
is.
fine.
I've not even finished it yet, but it's great. Like it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's like a roller
I
coaster.
love that game. Don't get me wrong. I love that game so much.
Gino's
I'm
just,
so
Gino's
scared.
just
I'm
scared. He scares
Yeah,
evil.
like I'll tell you, I'm
Aw.
genuinely scared. I can't.
That's
do it.
you know what? That's fine, man. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Okay, so let's move on to something a little bit less scary. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. You mentioned it already.
Oh.
You talked about it a little bit, Ignacio,
Yeah.
when you went off talking about what you liked about this conference, and you said you only liked Kakarot.
Yeah.
And you didn't like anything else. So,
Yeah.
do you
like
want to
yeah.
say anything else about it?
I wonder how it will run, considering Kakarot is such a fast game and there are so many particles going on.
Because this is
all the time.
not a cloud version. No, it's not.
No, it is. As far as we know, it isn't a cloud version. So either the resolution will suffer a lot, or the frame rate will suffer a lot, or most probably both will suffer a lot.
I mean, I'm gonna be
Ignacio,
entirely
if you want
honest
a
with you.
sequel, you have to buy this. If you want a sequel, you have to
Yeah.
Alan,
buy it.
Alan, trust me. There is no world where a new Dragon Ball game doesn't come out yearly.
That's true. That's actually
You gotta
yeah,
support it anyways. You gotta buy it.
that's true.
I might,
Um,
if it has motion controls, I might buy it.
I mean, I wouldn't be worried about this being like this running
It's
poorly.
the last Dragon Ball game.
But
I mean,
also
it-
like
It's a system seller. I'm gonna be out straight up honest with you.
this is gonna
If
sell
it
some
runs
Switches
well,
for
it
sure.
might.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
myself
yeah.
suspicious.
Nintendo's really looking to like push those Switch sales. Like they've just been waiting for it. This is the Animal Crossing New Horizons of 2021.
This holiday season, you're gonna see the Nintendo Switch bundle with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
This could very well be
I'll buy that. I'm gonna be
the
honest with you, I'm gonna buy
killer.
that.
It could very well be the killer app, the killer
And it's
app,
gonna-
or the
It's gonna be
Switch
an orange
Pro.
Switch. It's gonna be an orange and blue
He's a
Switch.
killer.
The killer app for the Switch Pro, yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Sure,
could be.
hype,
Yeah,
bro.
this is the first Switch Pro game, 100%.
Actually, this game is what's gonna launch alongside the new Switch Pro. This
Yeah.
this will be his launch game.
Yeah, clearly,
Yeah.
clearly. We'll get Shadow Drop to it's a bit like
Ah.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Oh, also there's this Switch Pro thing. No one really, you know.
Yeah. Also,
who
Switch
wants
Pro
that?
came out. It's gonna be for it. You buy it.
What else we got? Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yeah, we
it's
did
just
surprise.
that
We did.
collection.
Yeah, October 5th, 2021.
I'm
Another
in.
release date for it.
Again, October's a mad month. October 5th, Super Monkey Ball. October 8th, Metroid Dread. October 29th, Mario Party Superstars. And then on September 10th, the month before, we get WarioWare. My bank balance is going to get wrecked. Like, absolutely destroyed in those
Yeah.
2 months.
You're gonna
Yeah.
You're gonna roll into
Mhm.
that fall season. You're just gonna look at your wall and just be like, "I'm praying for you. I'm praying for both of us."
I think this Nintendo Direct has decided the fact that I'm not going to bother getting Pokemon Brilliant Diamond or Shining Pearl
Oh,
in December. Like
What?
not because or November or whenever they come out. Not because I'm sure they're going to be good remakes, but I'm gonna have too much to play and not enough money to buy it anyways.
That's true. That's true.
Gino, by the way, we might wanna hurry up how we go through the rest of it.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
if there's anything else that you guys would, we're all looking at the same website. So is there anything
I
else?
would say that the only thing that really is of we can sort of like bullet point the rest of the games. There's two. Obviously, we'll get to some Zelda, and we'll
Yeah,
kill
we're
it
gonna
with some
close it out.
Zelda to close out. Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna get there. It's best to last. But of course, Shin Megami Tensei 5 was announced when the Nintendo Switch release date was announced in January of 2017. This game, people have been waiting for this game for what feels like forever. So we finally got a release date for that, November 12th.
November.
November 12th. That's coming
Looks
out.
cool too.
I mean, if you're into your JRPGs, especially, I know nothing about the Shin Megami Tensei series, but it definitely looked like it's got a lot of cool JRPG action.
The only thing about it is I saw some people saying they really like the protagonist because I'm bad with terminology. They made the main character not really look like a specific, obviously having the long hair, but someone on Twitter was like, when they're not in demon form, they don't look like they have like a specific gender identity to kind of make it just. I don't know the term, but they're not trying to like label it that way. You can just, it's not like trying to lean towards male or female or anything else.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
saw some people talking about that. I'm just bad with terms, so I don't know.
Oh,
the actual name of it.
so yeah, they do have a more androgynous looking
that's what I was gonna
person. Yeah, so you could lean into it, and I think that's always good, especially in an RPG where you want to sort of put yourself into the character in a sense.
Yeah, I saw people saying that was awesome. So shout out to doing that. And plus, the protagonist looks super cool. So
Yeah, and
other than that.
We
Gino,
also got
go on.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I was
We
just
also
saying.
got Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. We've seen so much of this game already. We've seen it so many times, I feel. But this
You
game
gotta
looks
see
great.
those
So,
monsters.
yeah, Monsties
Monsties.
now. That's a freaking
Monsties.
there we go.
I'm,
Monsties.
I'm not buying it. I'm not.
I think it
sorry.
looks cool. I like that it's turn based, so I think I am gonna pick this up and try it out. It's coming out in 2 weeks.
I said if there was nothing else coming to Nintendo Switch this year, I would buy this game. But no, there's so much. I'm not gonna get it. And I really did like Monster Hunter Rise. That's a fantastic. If you're looking for that classic Monster Hunter with a lot of cool new movement options, still get that. That's so good. But definitely looks good.
All right. Okay, so these next few bullet points. Danganronpa Decadence collects 4 Danganronpa games into one visual novel package. That's great. Look at that. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 goes on to Switch on June 25th, same day as Mario Golf, right? Then we got Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 1 is available on Switch, and that was one of those today announcements. So that's freaking great. And next one was Strange Brigade is a co-op third-person action adventure that's available today as well, the day of the direct, which is a co-op.
Today.
Well,
Well, not
game.
today. But...
Then we got Just Dance 2022 coming out November 4th, 2021.
The series that will never die on Nintendo platforms, especially.
Well, shout out first Just Dance that doesn't come to the Wii.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't come to the
Exactly.
Wii.
Yeah.
Another.
Yeah,
Rest in
End
peace.
of an era.
End of an era. And then we got Worms Rumble on Nintendo Switch next week, June 23rd. And then this last one, Cruisin' Blast on Nintendo Switch in fall 2021. No release date for this random game.
The one game that did the one game that you definitely wanted to know that has no release date.
Random. And then finally, what everybody was waiting for
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC.
The way they know that they're teasing everybody. The way they know they're doing this. They're like, all right, let's show you Hyrule Warriors. Okay, now then we have an update on Skyward Sword. And then finally, we'll talk about Hyrule Warriors getting new stuff, new DLC. All right, good, great. Skyward Sword coming soon, whatever. Then they showed a new gameplay trailer for Breath of the Wild Part 2. No title yet.
I was practically speechless at this glimpse of Breath of the Wild 2, the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is, for context, one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely loved Breath of the Wild.
Hey Joe, is that a Hylian shield behind you?
Yes, that's a backpack that is a Hylian shield. Yeah, that is literally a backpack that's a Hylian shield. Yeah, and I think, and what I alluded to right at the start of our massive discussion we're having here, so if you're still listening, thank you. I think that now it finally seems to maybe make more sense as to why we're getting Skyward Sword and as the sole HD remake that might come out this year. And I'll be damned, I liked Skyward Sword. The story is very cool. The setting is very cool. A lot parts of the game, the way it holds your hand, leaves a lot to be desired. Yes! Yes, Amiibo buddies, Ignacio! Let's freaking go! Let's freaking go. I love it.
I don't have Amiibos.
No, yeah, you're not a true Nintendo fan, Alan. We've already covered this. Anyways, Cloud! Oh, that's so good. I love
He is
it.
on a Nintendo platform. He's on Smash.
The only 2 Amiibo that I got.
That's a great couple of Amiibo to have, man. That's so good. But the way in which, however it's going to happen, whether it's different timelines, because we saw the reversing of time in this Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, and we saw Link or some version of him with what I commented on was almost like a kind of more machine-like version of a Princess Mononoke infected arm,
Yeah, what even was that? What happened to his arm?
Yeah, Fortnite, where we drop in boys right at the start, flying in, and then the way they are literally taking things skyward for it. There's so much that we got in this small trailer, and I don't see how it wouldn't make anyone who especially if you liked Breath of the Wild even a little bit excited to see. Hopefully we'll get it in 2022. But it's just looked phenomenal to me at least.
So this isn't specifically about the gameplay we saw, but I want to ask all of you a question, and you have to just a simple yes or no. I've been seeing on Twitter a lot of debate of how do you feel if would you want them to bring back weapon durability or not bring back durability?
I think the weapon durability debate that surrounds Breath of the Wild is one of the most boring things that you can discuss about that game. That game, Breath of the Wild, has the purest, and I made an entire video about this. It's on my YouTube channel about why I love Zelda Breath of the Wild. The purest sense of adventure and discovery, and the way it redefines exploring an open world and progression in a game using the shrines, the options to complete or not complete the divine beasts. The weapon, at the beginning of the game, it's a bit of a struggle because you've got sticks that break after a few hits or whatever, but it did not bother me in the slightest in the 120 plus hours I even more than that I put into the game. And I think that people who got hung up on that, you're fine to have that opinion, but I think you're missing the forest for the trees. Like you're sort of really getting like once you get over that, which isn't even that big a deal, like seriously.
It's like you get like an hour in and it doesn't even matter to you anymore. You're just like, oh yeah, because then you just learn to shuffle weapons around. Like
and you always have other combat options with the Sheikah Slate and the powers and the ability to literally freeze your enemies to one of two ways, using an ice power or the stasis, or drop a giant. Like get some imagination, guys. Like you're worried about swords breaking when the enemies are literally showering weapons down upon you. Like, come on.
And I think the weapons durability adds to what makes Breath of the Wild special. I think that with weapons durability, you often get to the point where, okay, your sword breaks, the one that you use, now you're down to a lance. You have to change your strategy. Now you're down to this great sword. You have to change up the way you play it. You have to use weapons that you wouldn't use usually. And I think it adds to what makes Breath of the Wild special, which is the exploration of it. It makes you explore all these other weapons, and also that it adds to the tension of a fight when you're just going down through your weapons to the last one that you want to use. It can be annoying, but I think that it adds to the experience.
I wanted to close this off with telling you, Joe, that I had never played Breath of the Wild before.
Wow.
I was gonna buy it right now, but my Switch is dead. I thought it was charged this whole time, but I guess it's not charged. I feel like I disconnected.
How have you not played it?
Gino,
I just haven't. That's the thing. I've tried it.
You gotta just leave it docked and plugged in. Then it's just.
That's the thing. I don't think it was plugged in though. Is what I tried.
I
feel like I had it plugged in.
I think this post E3 sale is going on for even when this episode is published. Just get on there pick it up, man. It is give it another go. If for some reason one of the best selling games on the Switch, one of the most well reviewed, one of the most critically acclaimed Zelda games of all time didn't do it for you, I would say now is the time. We've got probably well over a year before we at least get the game coming out, and also just I challenge you to at least not be intrigued by the footage we saw. What is going to happen to Zelda? Are we going to see separated gameplay with her falling into this like massive pit? As Barrett Courtney speculated, are we going to play as Ganondorf? Like, there's
just a young Ganon.
I don't know if any of these like big mad theories will come through or come true. You might just be playing as a, it's similar to the way Majora's Mask was a deformed or somehow transformed version of Link for the entire game. That feels much more the way it might go for me personally. But either way, I'm so psyched for Metroid Dread. I'm gonna have so much an absolute ball with WarioWare. But this is the game that I wanted to see more than anything else from the Direct, and damn, Nintendo just delivered. They really gave that one more thing. That's why they're known for it, and I think it looks freaking awesome.
I want Link to leave his hair down. I'm all for it.
Just because you've literally got that exact same hairstyle at the moment, like you've just got like that shorter, like it's thick, it's gonna have lots of windswept.
Joe,
all because I haven't gotten a haircut yet.
thank you so much for joining us for this incredible discussion on Nintendo Direct. It was awesome to have a Nintendo fan like you, as big as you.
Your voice. You like Nintendo? What? He's a Nintendo fan. All this time I thought he loved PlayStation.
I know the sacred symbols really throw everyone off with the Waluigi mosaic.
Well, where can the people find you? Which I'm sure they'll want to find you after this. Where can people find you?
So, my name is Joe Medforce. I am at Joe Medforce on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and I also have a part-time stream working on a full-time dream, bringing you ridiculous positive passion every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on twitch.tv/Joe Medforce. If you can't catch the live streams, it would be great to see you in chat. Tell me what you thought of the Nintendo Direct or what you're looking forward to most from Nintendo or any other parts of E3, but you can also subscribe and check out my crazy reactions to the E3 Nintendo news on youtube.com/Joe Medforce. Gino, Alan, Ignacio, ever since I saw the saga of Greg Miller break Twitter over a few days, I wanted to be a guest on the Whatnauts. So thank you so much for having me and probably letting me ramble way over time about why I love Nintendo. So it's been amazing. Thanks, guys.
That's all right. Hearing the passion gets me more excited for Nintendo. I love it.
Yeah, it's been amazing having you here. You've been a great guest to talk to talk about Nintendo, and if we got a bit over time,
that's all right.
Okay. Yeah. Kyle's coming back from the bathroom now. He had massive diarrhea this whole time. He's coming back
the whole
time.
So
we will switch.
We'll switch
just in case we might end up cutting it into different episodes.
You don't know what I'm gonna do. I have all the power.
I'm just saying we might cut it into its own episode. Having Joe here, so
let's just say,
just in case
goodbye.
we do not see you on the other side.
Joe, give us the goodbye why.
Goodbye.
There we go.
There you go.